We all know that Donald Trump was once seen as an extremely powerful figure. While in office, his authority seemed untouchable. But now, a ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court has changed everything. For the first time, a decision has been made against him. This raises a major question. Could this be a significant blow to Trump's influence? What does this mean for the rule of law in the U.S.? This ruling highlights something crucial. Donald Trump violated due process rights. Being president did not exempt him from following legal rules. The court ruled that one of his key decisions failed to meet necessary legal standards. This failure had serious consequences. It proves that no leader is above the law. Violating due process is not just a mistake. It's a strong message that power cannot be used without checks. The court stressed that such actions pose a threat to justice. It also questioned how much power a president should really have. This confirms democracy's strength. Even the highest office in the country cannot escape oversight. The ruling was not easy to reach. It caused major division within the Supreme Court. Conservative justices argued that presidential power should be protected. They feared too many restrictions could weaken the government. On the other hand, liberal justices insisted that legal principles must come first. This division reflects a deeper struggle. It's not just about Trump. It's about how presidential power should work in the modern era. This ruling will impact future presidents as well. It sets a precedent. It requires leaders to follow legal limits. They cannot act on personal discretion alone. This decision reinforces accountability. If applied consistently, no president will be able to bypass legal oversight. This protects democracy. It ensures power is used responsibly. This ruling is a victory for the rule of law. Power must always be checked. The law must apply to everyone equally. Even the most powerful leaders must answer to it. This decision will go down in history. It raises an important question. Will this shift the balance of power for future presidents? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear. No president will be able to claim they are above the law anymore. This is a positive step for democracy. It strengthens the legal system. It ensures fairness for all. The impact of this ruling will be felt for years. It might even reshape how presidents use their authority. Meanwhile, tensions between the US and Canada have been rising. Trump's 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imports triggered serious consequences. It damaged the long-standing trade relationship between both nations. Canada's industries suffered. The competitiveness of Canadian businesses took a hit. But that was just the beginning. Trump made provocative statements about Canada's sovereignty. He even suggested annexation. These comments outraged Canadians. They felt their independence was under threat. In response, they launched a powerful boycott. They stopped buying American products. They canceled trips to the US. This wasn't just about trade. It was a statement. Canadians stood up against what they saw as disrespect. They protected their national values. This movement spread quickly. The message was clear. Canada would not be bullied. The boycott had economic consequences for the US. States like Florida and New York felt the loss of Canadian tourism. Many American brands also suffered. Kentucky bourbon, consumer goods, and more saw declines in sales. Canadian consumers shifted to locally made products. The economic impact was undeniable. This was more than a trade war. It became a symbol of unity. Every cancelled trip and avoided purchase sent a message. Canada would defend its sovereignty. This fight went beyond tariffs. It was about respect. Canada was ready to stand its ground. The boycott showed the power of collective resistance. It reshaped trade dynamics. The trade conflict continues. But one thing is certain. Canada will not back down. At the same time, something major is happening in global finance. Countries like China, Japan, Germany, and Norway are dumping US Treasury bonds. This is not a small decision. It signals a major shift. These nations are reducing their dependence on the US economy. They are looking for safer investments. The reason? US tariff policies. The 15% steel tariff and rising import taxes have created uncertainty. Nations fear economic instability. Holding US assets has become risky. Instead, they are shifting to alternatives. Gold, foreign bonds, renewable energy, and technology are becoming safer bets. This marks a major transformation. If this trend continues, the US dollar could weaken. Treasury bonds play a key role in government borrowing. If demand falls, borrowing costs rise. The dominance of the dollar could face challenges. Other currencies might gain more influence. This would reshape global finance. The US will struggle to fund major projects. Competition among currencies will increase. The financial landscape is changing. Will the dollar remain the dominant reserve currency? That is uncertain. These shifts could bring new financial challenges for the US. Countries are taking steps to protect themselves. This could reshape international trade. The financial world is entering a new era. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is facing growing challenges. His approval ratings are falling. The economy is struggling. His foreign policies are failing. Every day, things seem to slip further from his control. Can he overcome these hurdles? Or is this the beginning of the end? His approval rating recently dropped to 46%. Disapproval is growing. Young voters are turning away. Just weeks ago, Trump had 50% approval among them. Now it has fallen to 39%. People feel let down. His promises are not being fulfilled. Rising costs, lack of job creation, and failed policies are turning voters away. Compared to past presidents, his approval ratings are low. Americans are frustrated. This drop in support could cost him politically. Trump's foreign policies have also been disastrous. He promised peace but created instability. He claimed he could end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. That has not happened. Instead, he has distanced the US from Europe. This weakens America's global position. While Russia and China gain influence, Trump remains inactive. His failures are isolating the US. Diplomacy is crumbling. The US looks weaker than ever. His approach is one of the biggest setbacks of his presidency. Domestically, the situation is no better. Gas prices are high. Food costs are rising. Housing is less affordable. Trump has not provided solutions. Many feel he is more focused on his personal brand than real leadership. Social services have been cut. Veterans and low-income families are suffering. Public frustration is increasing. Recently, he fired hundreds of FAA employees. This created safety concerns. People are losing confidence in his leadership. Trump continues making controversial statements. His social media activity remains bizarre. He makes shocking claims but offers no real solutions. He insists he will lower prices immediately. Yet there are no concrete plans. Food and gas prices remain high. His words lack credibility. Voters are beginning to see through the empty promises. One of his most controversial moves was an executive order on immigration. It encouraged immigration from South Africa, but only for white South Africans. This sparked outrage. Critics called it racially discriminatory. Many questioned his motives. His policies are divisive. As the country faces economic struggles, Trump remains focused on stirring controversy. He is losing public support. His leadership is being questioned. The nation is at a crossroads. Can Trump be the right choice for America's future? Or will his decisions continue to cause harm? Voters will have to decide. Will they choose stability? Or will they endure more division? The next steps will determine the nation's direction. Trump's leadership is being tested. The coming months will be critical. The country is watching closely. Decisions made now will shape the future. The question remains: is Trump the leader America truly needs?